Hey there, folks. Rinium T here, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies, part of the Apollo Justice Trilogy. Thank you, Capcom Creators, for the code. Last part, we were investigating a monstrous murder. We're still investigating it, but we are back at the detention center. Speak with our client and see what he can tell us. April 17th, detention center, visitors room. Something wrong, Apollo? Where did your enthusiasm go? What am I doing asking the mayor if he has ever thought about releasing Tenmataro? I still think I'm an idiot, at worst. Ugh. Oh, he's here! It's so nice to finally meet you! I'm Mr. Justice's partner, Athena Sykes. I'm looking forward to working with you, Mr. Tenma. Taro. Oh, yes, I look forward to working with you too. I didn't mind Athena calling him by a completely wrong name. Hello, he's just as kind of gentle looking as I'd imagine. Lucky for you after that blunder you just made. There was something I wanted to talk to you about. There are rumors going around about how you want to or did set Tenmataro free. What other nonsense? Yes! They always assume the worst of me because of the way I look. Those rumors don't have a shred of truth, I tell you. A little touchy about his appearance, isn't he? What he really needs is to work on his people skills. And my speaking skills. Let me. I just want to examine Mr. Cheddar. I'm kicking my desk. Ow, that actually hurt. The heck? Ow. Kicked by the metal legs on my chest. On my desk. Wow, I cannot speak. Tenmataro's revival. So rumor has it that you want to push the merger through in order to release Tenmataro. Of course, that's a bunch of baloney, isn't it? Ugh. Sorry if I offended you. So that's the talk around town, is it? I can see how that would make you angry. What if Jinxie's schoolmates start teasing her about this? Huh? I must break out of here at once! Her tormentors must be taught a lesson! No, wait! First we have to get you a not guilty verdict. Don't try to stop me! This is about a father's duty to his darling daughter. Hold tight, sweet Jinxie, Daddy's coming to save you! Relax! Look out for your daughter until we can get you free. That's so. You don't need me to go straighten things out myself. Oh boy, they probably call him the SWAT team if you showed up at their school. Oh, right. I'll ask about the reason behind the merger. Why the merger? It seems like you were rather forceful in pushing for the municipal merger. Do you really want Ninetales Vale that badly? Yes, well, it's quite an attractive prize in terms of tourism. What? Wait, am I feeling what I think I'm feeling? Sure, I played a bit of hardball, but only when I deemed it necessary. Knew it. My bracelet's reacting. What is it, Apollo? Mayor Tenlin may not be telling the whole truth. Really? How can you tell? People invariably tense up when they lie. That's where my bracelet here comes in. I can sense when the person I'm talking to is feeling tense. Because it begins to feel tight on my arm. No way! You can do that? Wait, so you believe me? Just like that? Sure, each of us has our own special gifts. Oh, yeah, Athena has a gift too, her special sense of hearing. No, what do you think the mayor is lying about? I don't know, but it's our job to find out. So tossing it in outside of the court case is outside of the court now. How since my bracelet last reacted like this. Do I still remember how to do this? First, I touch my bracelet. Right, now let's give it a whirl. Boop. Yes, I remember this feeling of intense concentration. Really to see the smallest twitch, the slightest frown that no one else can see. Mayor Tenma was lying somewhere in that statement he just made. When he lied, a certain habit made itself clear just right under his eye. To shift my viewpoint up and focus on that area. It was his eye? Oh yeah. Alright, I've got him now. His nervous tail should appear when he's trying to pull the wool over my eyes. Gotta pour over every word he says and wait for it to appear. When it does, I'll perceive it. Yes, well... Oh god, it's so much slower now. It's quite attractive. It's so much slower now. And turns it to her.
Gotcha!
This is, of course, the last line. Mr. Mayor, please, can you trust us with the truth? You can trust us with the truth. The truth? I don't understand. When you mentioned tourism... I am being distracted by pigeons. The bottom of your right eye started twitching. What nonsense is this? So what if it did? Please, tell us more about your merger bid. What more is there to tell? Why were you really seeking to merge with Ninetales Vale? I already told you. Tourism. The monster craze really revitalized the village, making it quite the prize. You really don't trust us, do you? What are you talking about? The village has been hot property ever since the monster craze started, has it not? I think you've yet to realize that what you're saying contradicts the facts. You say that the monster craze really revitalized Ninetales Vale, so... You felt it would be an attractive price for its tourism, but that would contradict this. I'm thinking it's this?
Take that!
The monster craze in Ninetales Vale is a recent phenomenon. It sparked when an amazing Ninetales rose up against a municipal merger. The village was practically a ghost town before then. So you see, you couldn't have possibly seen it as an attractive prize for its tourism. What's the real reason behind your push to merge Tenma Town with Ninetales Vale, huh? Why the merger? Are you ready to tell me the truth now? Honestly, I've never wanted to pursue the merger in the first place. But I had no choice if I wanted to protect my darling little Jinxie. Protect her from what? I received a threat. It said either I go through with the merger or my Jinxie dies. What? How awful! Who would do such a thing? I don't know. Whoever blackmailed me must be connected to the murder. Wait, so you think the blackmailer and the killer could be one and the same? Alderman QB was immensely popular, so you have to ask, who would want him dead? The blackmailer who wanted the merger at all costs had all the motive in the world. But why go from blackmail to murder? A merger protest won't disappear just because the alderman was killed. Could it be... What if there was another reason for the murder? Like what? Maybe the blackmailer discovered Alderman QB's secret identity. And his secret identity was the threat to the blackmailer's merger scheme. What does secret identities have to do with anything, Apollo? If evidence revealing the Alderman's secret identity, maybe it's time to use it. I guess present this? Mayor Tenma, please take a look at this, if you would. That's the amazing Ninetales mask. What is the meaning of this? This mask was almost definitely at the crime scene. And there was some white hair inside. White hair, you say? There was but one person with white hair in the manor that day. What are you saying? You know which man I'm talking about, right? Talking about Rex Kyubi, the amazing Ninetales himself. No way! Alderman was impossible. Wait, trying to think about it, Alderman Kyubi was a former pro wrestler. So the blackmailer turned killer when he discovered the Alderman's secret identity. Didn't I just say that? But yeah, the amazing Ninetales was a threat to the blackmailer scheme. He opposed the merger, and as a result, single-handedly sparked the monster craze. Even so, what was the mask doing at the crime scene? There had been an event at the manor. And maybe Alderman Kyubi had taken part in it, if you get my drift. This is absurd! Mr. Mayor, do you have proof of the threat that was made against you? Yes, a blackmail letter, unfortunately, has disappeared after the murder. I've been carrying it around in my briefcase, but now it's suddenly vanished. Blackquill must have taken it with them after they killed the alderman. Well, at least we've clearly established the killer's motive. Mayor Tenma, visiting hours are over. It appears that this meeting is adjourned. Hello. Do you really think the Tenmatara that Jinxie saw is the killer? I don't know. All I know is there's no such thing as monsters. What about that newspaper article? Could the killer have purposely freed Tenmatara to do their dirty work? Oh, come on! There wasn't any Tenmatara released in the first place! Yes, but the only suspect the police have right now are the mayor and the yokai. We'll probably be arguing whether there was a yokai involved in court tomorrow. I can already see that look of disbelief on the judge's face. Hello? Are you alright? I'm fine. I'll think of something. I heard because I can't very well say a flying demon was the killer. At this point, the only thing I know for sure is tomorrow is going to be one doozy of a trial. Yeah, I was like, I know I'm at the end, but it was getting long. Save your current progress, yes. So we'll just keep going into the trial. I couldn't accept Mr. Charlie. Rude jerks. April 18th, 9:15 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. You okay, Athena? You've been really antsy ever since we got here. I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all. Yeah, real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. Athena! Did you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices? I'm just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters. Scaring the daylights out of me? No, I find that shouting, "I'm fine," in a loud voice really relieves stress. Part of my Court of Steel voice workout, and it must be for every trial. You want me to shout? Here? That's right, here. I'll go first, then you try. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. Alright, I'm Athena Sahix, and I'm fine. I think that actually worked. That might help. Always works for me. A friend of mine from junior high and I say it all the time. I see. Perfect remedy, calm the soul. I like it. Hey, how about we finish off with a race around the courthouse? Ways to really stress, not get totally exhausted. What's with all the racket, you two? Ah, Mr. Wright. Just a little voice workout. Hey, what's with the suit? Oh, this? I was thinking about getting my attorney's badge back. That's all. That's all? That's huge news! But why now? I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime soon. We can talk about that another time. No fair! Inquiring minds want to know! Wow. So used to him in his usual laid-back clothes. That suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time, but before that, he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology? That's right. I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction. Using his the power of suggestion, he can make even the most stalwart defendants confess. Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot about that lately. So he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say. They also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. Ah! I knew he was gonna be bad news. It's probably just hyperbole, but at least I hope for your sake. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. If you'd like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. Yikes! Better tone down my Court of Steel too. Sure, you all ready? It might be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping into the ring. Right, Mr. Wright? I'm fine. I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck. Thanks. Okay, let's do this. The odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low, but that's nothing new. Believe in our client. Seek the truth. That's all we can do. Hang in there, Mayor Tenma. Here comes justice! April 18th, 9:30 a.m. I got to sleep 17th. District courtroom number 4. Court is now in session. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Damian Tenma. All the justice defense team leader is ready, Your Honor. I know that big booming voice anywhere, as chipper as ever, eh, Mr. Justice? Who is the young lady next to you? I'm Athena Sykes, Mr. Justice's junior partner in Fresh Out of Law School. Well now, full of the beans too, eh? Excellent. Makes an old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. It appears the prosecution is not ready yet. Never fear, I shall explain. It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. Prosecutor for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot that he is currently serving time.
Yup, Prosecutor Blackquill's an inmate. But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Who's that with his back twist over there? That's him. I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackquill. Is the prosecution ready? Enough jabbering. Get on with it already. Of course, forgive me. I know that people realize this case is so scary. Very well, Prosecutor Blackquill, your opening statement, if you please. What's the matter? Must we continue to further away time like this? It's all right there in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless. Pointless? Well... Looks like the cat, or in this case the prosecutor, has the judge's tongue. But wait, you need an opening statement as an over of the case at hand! Well then, your baldness, if it's so important, why don't you do the honors? Who? Me? There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things. And then decide they no longer want them once it's their selfish old fool. Huh? Wait, was that the prosecution's opening statement? Old doters such as you are a plague upon the young. Pity your poor grandchildren, or is it great-grandchildren? All these years, I thought the opening statement was a prosecutor's job. I suppose I could give it a try. Might be a nice change of pace. What? You actually fell for that? That must have been the power of suggestion Mr. Wright was talking about. The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Cubey, alderman of Nine Tails Vale. And the defendant, Damian Tenma, mayor of Tenma Town, is accused of his murder. And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested? His prints were on the murder weapon. Plus, he had a motive of the elimination of the biggest roadblock to the municipal merger. The caretaker and the secretary, other potential suspects, both have alibis. His daughter, who was also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, has no motive. So, in a nutshell, I have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible. Bravo, your baldness. Your years of experience shine bright upon like your head. Oh, flattery, look at you everywhere. He's playing Simon Says with the judge. Moving right along now, let's hear from our first witness for today, Detective Wright. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I'm the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I'll also be keeping tabs on old Blackquill here. I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that. It would seem I have been sorely underestimated. Wait, who's protecting who from what? Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around, even old Blackquill here. Cool, Bright. Save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statement. That's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up on you. Prosecutor Blackquill doesn't seem to be intimidate Detective Fulbright. Well, you know what they say, ignorance is bliss. Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackquill. He's so oblivious. Now let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright. You got it. But first, I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail. Witness testimony about the murder. Alderman QB was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant Damian's hammer were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman QB was asleep from a drug he had wittingly ingested. Mayor Timon attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed the statue and struck back. Alderman QB had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug? That's right. The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So they slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. Here's the autopsy report to prove it. Oh, now we get the autopsy report. And the victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear? That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast. Don't try to brush it all off by saying the alderman had been a pro wrestler. You really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear? Never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable in pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain and sharpens their senses. We used to talk about it with a former pro wrestler I met in the clink. I don't know. Still sounds a little far-fetched. Does it now? Then perhaps we should test the theory on you at the edge of my blade. I didn't sign up for this! And so your life is spared. For now. Please let the shackles be made of titanium! I don't want to die. My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof, for my name isn't Fulbright. And I'll resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. The accused prints were on the weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Alright, decisive evidence. When do you agree to your baldness? The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute. He has the judge leaning toward a guilty verdict, and the trial's just barely begun. What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks the murder for the purpose of freeing Tenma Taro from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can think of no real reason to show interest in that backwoods burg. Perhaps he's a complete nuther and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he is raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman. That mayor's a strange one, all right. I heard he went on to a blood drive, but incidentally, he tried to make a withdrawal. Order! There will be no gossiping at my court. Your baldness. please take a gander at those charms plastered across his cranium. Here they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenma Taro. And again... Perhaps he's already under the demon spell. Behold, the lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment. Beep!
Hold it!
The rumors and quirks of Mayor Tenma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head? They're just a fashion statement, I think. Come to think of it, those things don't seem relevant to the case, do they? Prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud. Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here. Thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo! He has a judge dancing in the palm of his hand. Our suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackquill's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impressions of Sue's objectives. This guy really is bad news. In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? None other than the statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Ew, yokai, the exact one. On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and the other Tenma Taro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It's as though this very case were rendered in art. Ursula was found on it, but no prints could be lifted. Seems like a random thing to add now, but okay. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. About the murder. Hold it! So, those weapons on the wall of the Fox Chamber, I presume those are real? Don't you think keeping real weapons around like that is rather dangerous? No matter what he collected, the Alderman insisted it be the real deal. For instance, he had a real demon's club in his possession. Apparently, one of his ancestors claimed it after defeating a demon in battle. What? That's gotta be an old wives' tale. The Alderman had pure unadulterated justice flowing in his veins. Whatever he did it right. We've lost a real champion of justice in his death. Nothing but claptrap and balderdash, if you ask me. Now stop your bleeding and tell us about the weapon. Your wish is my command. Fingerprints of the defendant were found. Doesn't make sense if you think about it. Prints could be easily wiped off. You do have a point there. I'd venture to say he did not wipe out the prints because he could not. What do you mean? Looks like he wants you to figure it out. Well, don't just stand there and show him who's boss. I'm totally lost, so why don't you just tell me the answer already? I don't think he saw that plea for help. You feeling alright, kid? Running the fever, perhaps? I wish trials came with a reset button. No specifics yet come to light. Please proceed, Detective Fulbright. Hold it! Come to think of it, a coffee cup was found on the floor. Was a sedative in his coffee? Bingo! We found traces of a sleeping agent all over the inside of the cup. And that is why he was out cold. That is until he leapt to his feet upon being impaled by the mayor. What an awful way to wake up. A rather stimulating eye-opener if you ask me. I too would have risen to the attack, for the die in battle is the samurai way. And I so wait to fallen heroes, but that hole in his stomach would make it a challenge. Prosecutor Blackquill, please! Those mumber jokes of yours have no place in this court. Says the gesture of the detective's guys. Moving right along. Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim. So the alderman was drugged because he was really strong. Did you see those rock-hard muscles of his? I'm surprised the spirit of a man should pierce that armor like musculature. I meant I'm completely jealous of that righteous body of his. Well, he did look pretty buff, even in that suit he had on. Quite a difference when compared with a yellow belly like you. Yellow belly? Who even says that anymore? Yeah, and the color's all wrong, too. Oh, I know! How about a squishy red tomato? I'm going to strike both of your comments from the record. Mr. Justice's character is not the issue here. Now let's get back to what happened after the far more muscular alderman was impaled. Yes, well, your average person would likely have died on the spot.
Hold it!
Strike back. Could he really have attacked his attacker after being impaled with that huge spear? Absolutely! After all, he was once a pro wrestler. The injustice of being drugged and speared was the answer with a righteous counterattack. But does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman? Absolutely! After all, he was one of the good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he can still deal on his superhero guys in times of need.
Objection!
You need to lay off the comic books, detective. We're talking about real life here. That aside the half-wits flights of fancy, and the fact is this. Court order post-mortem concluded that the victim moved after his skewering. So he found the strength somehow to attack his attacker, huh? Detective Fulbright's testimony sounds airtight. No wonder he's so confident. Nobody only thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. Part about the alderman fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked. Okay, I guess they're telling me, in a way, that is where I need to present evidence. On the contrary. Let's present the statue that has no prints on it. Did the alderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put his spear through him. The statue supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory. It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective statue theory. There's no fingerprints! There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. If you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed. He touched the statue with his bare hands. He should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? This cannot be happening! I arrested the wrong man! He did it, Apollo! You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse. Well, it's just one point in our favor. What do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman? Well, if it wasn't the alderman, it means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there was a third party there in the Fox Chamber? Exactly, and this could be the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackquill, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion? The least you could do is look at me while being dismissive. Your mind is as dull as an unhoned blade, Justice Dono. Justice Dono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks. It will take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackquill. A whelp such as you has no hope against my superior swordsmanship. This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackquill. There's a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. You might recall that bloodstained cloth found at the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happened the blood was the mayor's. What are you getting at? Hone your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle and you shall see that the hole you thought you found is but an illusion. And let's see, how was that cloth used? Was it used... wrap the statue. Maybe the alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth. I'm sure he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Precisely. Bully for you, boy. Oh, it was nothing. Paulo, don't let him start manipulating you too. You just closed the hole for the prosecution. I did? I did. Right, that statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprints as plain as day. It also proves there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back. Oops. Arg! Found demon statue updated in the court record. 2 pages. Now you see how dull your mind is. I'll make sure to sharpen it next time. Oh, particularly finding inmate once told me that. He always tenderly honed his blade before he went to work, like a samurai of yore. Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time. Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef? It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all. I was kind of attached to that hole. Now what? Paulo, I just thought something. If they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on that statue, who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it? Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it. Then who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady. And there's only one answer. The real killer. Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence have you? Oh, I'll give you evidence, alright. Dina, are you sure about this? To borrow your words, Apollo, I'm fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks allegedly from a yokai were found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue. Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed the alderman? That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena! You just lost what little credibility we had left. Ah! Sorry, I guess I got carried away. Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense. Sorry, Your Honor. Just, this kid's still, well, a kid. Ow, you meanie? I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright. So, does this court believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as he put it? No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. Real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman. Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would do that? Why indeed? Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is. Oh, I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright. Hey, fool. Oi, fool Bright, explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks. What? You mean you can explain all that? Ha ha ha! Our investigative prowess is without equal. Trying to think I chose the wrong profession. Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks. We will do that next time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps to keep being content like this and more. And links for that in the description below, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching. Thank you again, Capcom Creators, for the code. And until next time, this is RudyMT signing out. Bye!